Hollis Hall just flipped from routine to red alert. The doors are shut, the music is off, and the head coach is saying the quiet part out loud. Practice tape got paused, rewound, and called out in front of the room. Not cryptic. Not polite. A direct challenge to the Chicago Bears. Your habits do not look like a national championship caliber team. That's not a tweet. That's a siren. And if that doesn't hit you in the chest after a week where your rival tried to embarrass you, then the building is about to make decisions for you. Jobs are on the table. Reps are on the line. This isn't a vibe check. It's a culture check with the clock already ticking towards Sunday. Here's what we're doing together in the next few minutes so you leave smarter and louder. We'll break down exactly what Ben Johnson said and why it matters, who that message actually targets in the locker room, the adjustments that the defense must make right now, what the depth chart and injury picture mean for this week, and how the Bears can turn a call-out into a punch-bag performance. You'll get concrete football blitz rate, snap math, coverage rules, plus the one change on offense that buys this defense room to breathe. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where Chicago talks ball like it's 4th and 1 on the lakefront. If you ride with Navy and Orange, hit subscribe, drop a like, and get in the comments. This community isn't for background noise. It's for people who care and want receipts. Introduction. The Bears are living in the tight space between promise and proof. A new staff with blunt language, a locker room with young talent, and a fan base that's tired of almost. The Lions game didn't just sting. It exposed a detailed problem: finish, fundamentals, and effort when the camera isn't on you. The head coach went to the podium and said it plainly: practice habits don't match championship standards. The little things learned in youth football still separate grown men on Sundays. And yes, there were plays on tape where the Lions played harder. That lands different in Chicago. It's both a warning and an invitation. If you think you're at 100, get to 120. If you're coasting, you're sitting. If you finish, you play. Now the news, plain and straight. Ben Johnson challenged the room. He said the way this team practices has to change. Finish through the football. Techniques that show up in walkthrough, and standards that survive the jump cut from Wednesday to Sunday. He doubled down. They will find out this week at practice who wants to be more involved, because tape doesn't lie and the rotation is a meritocracy. He also said what everyone saw. In the second half, Detroit wanted to bury Chicago and succeeded because the Bears let go of the rope. That's not a scheme problem. That's a standard problem. And standards travel. So who's on notice? Start with the idea, not the name. Veterans and high snap guys whose effort off the ball and after the catch didn't match the moment. If you're a tackle who put your quarterback in a blender, a safety who pointed instead of planted, a corner who bailed early, a receiver who watched a teammate fight for YAC instead of blocking, that message had your jersey number on it. The staff won't post a list. They'll post a depth chart. You'll know Sunday. Let's address the social media static because it matters. Yaquan Brisker liking and echoing "use me" tweets days after allowing 52 is a bad look. Even at the football point, deploy him downhill more. Let him hunt has some truth in it. The staff is as blunt in-house as they are at the podium. That conversation belongs in the building. Energy belongs at practice. Production belongs on Sunday. Every rep this week is a chance to turn timeline noise into shoulder pad noise. Choose wisely. Defense through 2 weeks is a mirror with no filter. Last in points allowed. Bottom tier in yards allowed. Too few takeaways. Not enough sacks. And a red zone touchdown rate that turns every opponent's trip into 7 instead of 3. Injuries are real. Losing your top corner for the long-term hurts. Kyler Gordon's absence compounds it. And TJ Edwards joining the DNP list tightens the screws at linebacker. But the league is cruel. No one gives you a discount because you're banged up. You either adjust or get exposed. Adjust how? First lever, pressure rate. You want to live with 4. Everyone does. But when 4 isn't close, you don't give elite QBs a lawn chair and a lemonade. The blitz rate needs to jump out of single digits, and not with desperation, with design. Simulated pressures that look like 5 and bring 4. Creepers from the slot with an end dropping into the slant window. Green dogs that trigger when the back stays in. A couple of well-timed cover zero looks on second and long to put terror in the tape. Will you get hit once? Sure, but sitting back has already gotten you beat. Make quarterbacks decide faster. Mistakes live their second lever. Coverage rules. Top-down shell looks pre-snap with late rotations once you dictate protection. If you're thin at corner, play to your leverage. Squat on slants with safety help lurking. Rob the middle on obvious dagger concepts, and force throws to the sideline where the ball and the boundary can tackle together. Rally, strike, live to third down. Third lever, edges and lanes. If Hutchinson took your lunch a week ago, here's your correction plan: set firm edges. Keep rush lane discipline, fold the pocket, and flush quarterbacks toward help. This group doesn't need heroic sacks. It needs ugly pressures that turn 4 into 4 and 2 because a throw sailed or died at the sticks. Stunts inside punish over-aggressive guards. A late loop from the 3 tech meets the QB at 9 yards if the end doesn't overrun. Offense can and must help the defense breathe. Ben Johnson's script should steal rhythm early. Quick gain to the boundary. Duo and inside zone to bloody the front. And a couple of screens as weapons, not panic buttons to punish over person. Get a lead, even a small one, and watch the defense call sheet open. Behind the sticks is where this defense struggled. Ahead of it is where the disguise plays. Complementary football isn't a cliche. It's how a battered depth chart survives a month. The injury picture is the other half of the plot. Jalen Johnson's long absence forces a new pecking order at corner. Tyreek Stevenson has to grow up in a hurry, and the next men up have to trade fear for technique. Eyes right, hands quiet, finish through the pocket. If Jalen Jones can't go, you might be living with 4 healthy corners. That demands D-line heat and safer coverage contours, so the back end isn't on an island for 60 minutes. And if Edwards misses again, the box fits and green dog timing fall to guys without his snaps. That's serviceable if the line keeps you clean. It's disaster if the line gets moved. Personnel moves? Yes, the free agent market isn't rich in September, but thin isn't an excuse to do nothing. Workouts exist for a reason. Practice squad elevations exist for a reason. If the room needs a vet who can line up, communicate, and get you out of bad calls, bring him in for a look. If the room needs more juice, reward the kid who finished every rep in shells like it was Sunday. The standard is the standard, or it isn't. Let's talk about accountability at scale. The numbers since 2020 speak for themselves. A playoff berth that didn't feel like one. A record that looks like a rebuild clock stuck in a loop. Ben Johnson's tone this week wasn't theater. It was a line in the dirt. If you're not practicing like it matters, you won't play like it matters. Fans begged for a coach who'd tell the truth. Now you have one. The only thing left to decide is whether the roster likes the truth enough to change, or whether the roster gets changed. Who has to step up right now? Tyreek Stevenson, for a start. Get your hands right, trust your leverage, and take the layups, break up a slant early, and the entire day looks different. In the box, whoever wears the radio if Edwards can't go has to talk like a drummer. Tempo. On the edge, win your first 2 pass rush reps even if they don't end in sacks. Quarterbacks feel that for 4 quarters. And in the wide receiver room, WR1 can set a tone that spreads. Sprint the ball to the official after a chain-moving catch. Block like you're down 4 with 2 minutes left, even if it's the first quarter. Energy is contagious. So is apathy. Special teams? Don't you dare yawn. Field position is the most honest friend a struggling defense has. Cover hard, fair catch smart, and pin returners instead of chasing them. 2 first downs worth of hidden yards decide real games. Fact versus speculation snapshot to keep it clean. It's a fact the head coach challenged practice habits and effort. It's a fact the Lions game exposed finish and fundamentals. It's a fact injuries have hammered key defensive spots. It's a fact the defense's metrics through 2 weeks are bottom tier. It's speculation to turn one call-out into a locker room revolt or to crown a scapegoat for a collective problem. The only verdict that matters is Sunday. My opinion. I love the message and will love it more if it's echoed with snaps. Raise the blitz rate, simplify the coverage rules, and bench reputation in favor of performance. That's how you earn a punchback win in this league. Ben Johnson didn't arrive to babysit a rebuild. He arrived to change the standard. If you're wearing a Bears helmet, that should make you proud, not nervous. Because a standard is the fastest way out of mediocrity. Your turn, drop it below. If you're calling the defense this week, do you dial up pressure to 20 to 25% and live with man on the outside? Or do you stay light and dare them to run into split safety looks? If you're scripting the first 10 plays on offense, are you going tempo into quick game or heavy with duo to test a banged-up front? And if you're in charge of the corner room, are you elevating a practice squad vet for stability or riding with youth in disguises? Give me your plan this channel coaches together.